I believe that. Listen, now, if the Jets win 31-30 and the defense gets sliced up a little bit, I'm not saying I'm going to be mad, but I do think that this is a real indicator as to, the acumen, the transfer, the ability to transfer concepts to the field that from Robert Saleh. Listen, we loaded him with San Francisco, and rightfully so. And, last year, some people overreacted. I didn't. So because I knew they had nothing on defense and really nothing on offense. But when they gave up 54 points against the Patriots last October, yes, it was embarrassing. And by the way, they could have scored 60 if they wanted. It was embarrassing, but I didn't overreact. When they gave up 45 to the Bills last November, it bothered me. Once again, we're the butt of everybody's football jokes. But I understood nothing there. When they gave up 45 again to the Colts that same month, I think it was a week apart, the Bills and the Colts game. They had that stretch where it was awful. I mean, I'm embarrassed, but I'm like, all right, man, this guy was a defensive guy. I know he doesn't have much out there, but just come up with some sort of scheme to keep it somewhat remotely competitive. Now they've got the horses.
Yeah.
Now they've got some speed, they've got some tenacity, they've got some experience, and I know Jamar Chase is great. I know Mixon's good. I know Higgins is good. I know they've got players, but so do the Jets. So my point is this. I need to see a little something from Robert Saleh defensively this Sunday.
Yeah.
And if I don't, I'm going to be a little worried. Like when I say, so define a little something there, Brandon. Well, I'll tell you. How about 4 sacks instead of just getting in the neighborhood and being a half a step away from the sack? How about you actually get them? How about you get another pick? Ashton Davis had one to wrap up the game last week.
But that was like a gimme, just toss up in the middle of
what I mean? His only defensive snap of the game as well.
You can't draw a conclusion off of that.
No. How about DJ Reed or Sauce or Whitehead or somebody back there? How about you force a fumble? How about you get a strip sack? How about the running attack for Cincinnati, which has had a rough time getting going so far, averages 2.3 yards per attempt. I mean, I need to see something.
Yeah, well,
so I'm going to change it a little bit, and I'm putting a little pressure on the Jets defensively.
Well, here's the thing: you're not seeing a ton of extra men coming for the Jets. So the pressures, as I look at the stats, and the eye test tells me this as well. The pressure's coming from the D-line. Jake Martin's got 5. He's got half a sack on the season. Quincy Williams has got 3 pressures. He's got a sack on the season. Carl Lawson's 5 pressures. He's got a half a sack on the season as well. So
Jermaine Johnson had a sack in week 1.
Jermaine Johnson had a sack in week 1. He's only got 2 pressures. So, I mean, but when you think about what this team needs to do, it's maybe dial it up, maybe tick it up a little bit, because you're right. They're almost there defensively. Like, you see it. It's like they're that close to making these big plays. And that's what you're looking for. Every week, there's got to be directional improvement for this Jets defense. And as we evaluate Robert Saleh, and I guess by extension, Jeff Holbrook, the defensive coordinator, right? That's where the calling card is supposed to be for the Jets. And I think we all kind of know that. We know that, Zach Wilson, when he does come back and he's a starting quarterback for the Jets, it be some growing pains, right? There's connections and chemistry that just hasn't been developed yet with this increasingly talented offense. So in the interim, your defense has to be really, really good, and it has to be the difference maker for this Jets team. It's not there yet. And
I got to see some signs that it's coming.
The Cincinnati Bengals, I don't want to say they're the perfect team to get right on, but the Bengals are bad up front right now. You mentioned the sacks.
And they were bad last year. That's a weakness of their team.
They have a really good quarterback.
Yep.
But when you pressure any quarterback, I don't care how good you are, he can turn into a bad one. And that's how the Bengals have looked this year.
And unlike Lamar Jackson, I'm not saying Burrow is, his feet are in concrete, but he's not going to, he doesn't have any wiggle to him. No. So, he's more about kind of stepping up like a Brady and maybe extending the pocket in front of him, not to his left or to his right. All right, so there we go. We just raised the pressure on the Jets. How do you like that, Jets? Listen, we mean it. I mean, I don't want to hear about all the signings. And, last year when Carl Lawson got hurt in practice with the Achilles, it was really a shot to the stomach of everybody that anticipated some energy there. Well, Carl Lawson's back. He's had 2 games to shed the rust. How about you do something?
Are they supposed to win this game, the Jets?
The odds makers say no.
The game is at home.
The odds makers say no, but your partner says just stopping short of saying that they're supposed to. but they're supposed to be there with 5 or 6 minutes to go with a chance to win. 877-337-6666. Just give you a little heads up when you call us, and we'll get these calls coming up next, and we'll get to the Judge stuff later. Huge weekend for the Mets. Got a little help from the Phils last night. We're all over it. Don't worry. But when you call Hoff, all right, keep in mind, because there is some social media evidence. You might have a little headache today, a little cotton mouth. And my boy was banged up last night at the Smashing Pumpkins concert. Are you alive today? You look like you're half dead back there.
I'm
still drunk?
I'm feeling good. No, I'm great, man. I'm feeling amazing. Last night was amazing.
That's false
Oh, he's
bravado.
definitely hungover,
That's
man.
false bravado.
He's
You can hear it.
hungover.
I'm just throwing out words, guys.
He's
That's all I'm doing.
hungover. Hey, listen, that's okay. If those guys can shotgun beers on the morning show out there on the remote, then you can at least come on the air and say that you're dying. You know, you're not feeling good. Well, I could read right through you. I could see the way you walked in today. I saw you and your crew having a good time last night. Those who don't know, used to intern with Stern. You know, you got a lot of hookups in the music industry, so I'm sure as you walked around, Irving, oh, there's Hoff. Oh, yes. I know how you're feeling right now, dude. Don't hide it.
It was a good time. That's all I'm going to say.
Good. Well, just make sure you do your job. 877-337-6666. Your calls. Pressure's on a little bit, not overstating it. But if we hired a defensive coach in Saleh, we need to start seeing some defense starting this Sunday